Hi there, this is Tracy, and today I'm going to talk about some ideas that have come across my mind this week. It's victim versus survivor. I think that as I come out of the closet and talk to friends and people that I know and tell them that I'm making these videos on narcissist abuse, the first reaction that people have is that I am holding on to a victim status and that I am holding on to that and I can't get over these men in my life. I can't deal with it, and so I'm this angry, bitter person. And I don't think that could be farther from the truth. And here's why. I think that, like an alcoholic, you will always be an alcoholic, but you will be dry. You can be something that doesn't, that isn't drinking and isn't, doing the things that an alcoholic would do, which could be ruining their life and doing things that harm themselves. When they become dry and they become aware of what has happened to them in their life, that doesn't mean they're not an alcoholic. It means that they're better, and they tend to go on and help others. They become sponsors, and this is very much like that. I think that the people that are out there making these videos are trying to help people. They're at a different point where they're able to speak, and I think it's so easy for us to all get judged by our friends and our family that we're, holding on to the hurt, we're holding on to the fear, we're holding on and being a fearmonger. And it's really hard to understand that when you are a survivor, because you don't want to hold on to it. You want this to give you the power to get past all of these things that have happened to you. The most important thing to remember is that you are not alone. If you have spent any time on YouTube in this narcissist abuse support area, on blogs, you will find that everything that you have experienced, others have experienced too. And the most important thing is to know that you are not their first source of supply, and you will not be the last. The next one is going to go through the exact same stages of love bombing and devalue and discard, just as you are. So holding on to a dream and holding on to an illusion that you're in love with something that could have been. So I'm really good at that. I see potential in people, and if you look back, really, we saw the potential in the love bombing stage. Oh, he's so romantic, she's so wonderful, oh, she cooks meals, whatever it was that drew you to that person. They're so good with their children, whatever it is. You were in love with an illusion, and we held on to that. We held on to the belief that they could be that. That is really false hope for us, and it's self-sabotaging because we can't change somebody. And unless they're consistently good, they're not good. If they make a mistake, that's not the damning of them. But if their patterns don't stop, if their patterns continue to repeat themselves, that's when you're going to get into a realization that there's something wrong with this picture. And we can't be in love with something that we saw a while ago. We have to be in love with the person that is true to being a good person every day. They will make mistakes. We all make mistakes, and that's okay. It's in how they handle them and how they make you feel and how they take responsibility for their feelings that really changes everything. When we face our fears and we face people's judging of us, we have a few choices. We can deal with those fears and we can move forward by taking one step. How do you battle fear? How do you get rid of it? And the only way is to conquer it, is to face it right on and make yourself stronger. It's not an easy process, and it's not something that everyone can do. But until we know the enemy, so to speak, until we know what patterns are, and that we've been accepting people on their face value. When we accept that, then we can heal. So like an alcoholic that really can't get better until they accept the fact that they are an alcoholic. Until you see that you have a problem, that you believe in the fairy tale, if you believe in the dream, if you're not seeing reality, you can't get better. So you have to admit that you're a victim. You have to see what you're a victim of. If you don't know everything about it, then you can't recover. So the most important thing is to dig in, learn this stuff, and the more that you do, you'll get rid of some of the feelings that you're feeling maybe right now. In the beginning stages, you're going to be lonely, you're going to be sad, you're going to have fear, you're going to feel isolated, desperate, hopeless. You're going to have anger and bitterness. And these are phases that we actually have to go through. There's a lot of planes today. These are phases that we have to go through. We have to come through in order to see the light. We can't get there if we don't listen, and if we don't explore the possibility that what we've been through isn't normal. If we consider it normal, then we're damned to be here for a long, long time. So I think in the victim and survivor thing, you have to go through victim. You have to go through understanding that before you can get better. And this week I had 2 friends break up with boyfriends, and I think I went right into, red flags and accusing them of being narcissists in the way that they handled the men, in the way that they handled the breakups. And I could see the patterns, and both of my friends are still in that anger, that fear, that what the hell just happened stage. And so they're just at the very beginning. And I'm not saying that their men were narcissists, but it's in that discard, that complete lack of empathy, that you've been with someone for any amount of time and suddenly you're nothing. That is brain fucking. And I think that they might come to terms with it, but trying to control it is never going to bring you peace. Trying to understand it is where you're going to find the peace, and you're going to get a transformation of your heart. So how do you learn bravery? How do you learn to be brave when you're beaten down? You take one step. You just try it. Try to be brave. It's not going to happen all at once. It's a slow process. And education is really the key. Take one tiny little step. It's choice. We choose to do this. It's a heroic act inside of us to say, I'm going to stand up for myself. I met a few people this week, and one man in particular who lost his wife about 6 weeks ago after an 11-year battle of cancer. And it was in meeting him that I got hope. Hope that there is real love out there. Hope that this isn't the normal thing as to what I've been living with. In meeting this man who has struggled and endured so much with a wife that was dying for so long, being there by her side and making their life as wonderful as it could be, he said to our group, he said, don't hold out for tomorrow. And the biggest regret that he has was saying, we'll do that, when we get more secure, when we, build this, and when we do that, we'll go to Europe, we'll do things that we want to do. And he said if he could do it all over again, he would live for today, because you don't know what tomorrow is going to be. I think that line really inspired me to remember to live for today, because we don't know what tomorrow will bring. So in your battling of fear, and bravery, you must remember that there will be a rainbow if you let it be there. Try to keep note of people's behavior. Last night I had a little situation that kind of shocked me, honestly. There's a man that I have had a friendship with, and a few weeks ago we made it to kissing. Yep. And I wasn't going any farther because I really just want to get to know someone. I want to trust them. I want to know their behaviors before I take it. I want to build a friendship. And he was having a party last night, and he invited me, and I was going. And before I went, I sent him a text, and it was raining where I was. And I asked him if it was raining there, and he said no. And then he said, but there'll be plenty of single men there for you. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I thought that, we were not dating per se, but we were building a relationship. I thought that was just strange of him to do that. And he said, oh no, I have a new person that I'm seeing, but she would kiss you too. I was like, what? It was so like weird. If we were friends and we were going to this thing, he could have just said, hey, by the way, I started to see someone, and why invite me to a party where there's going to be his new person when a week and a half ago we were kissing? I set the boundary right there, and I said, okay, red flag. Not saying he's a narcissist, but I don't like being treated like that. I don't like that he didn't have the respect to talk to me and say that he found someone that maybe did want to sleep with him in the first 15 minutes. And that's fine. We could have had a chance at a friendship. But when he took it to the level of not even telling me, hey, I found someone, and just sort of said, oh, I've got men for you, that just fucked with my head. Why do that to somebody? And my response was to be strong and brave for myself and say, you know what? I'm not going to put myself in that situation. I don't need to be at this party. I don't need to subject myself to watching him kiss someone else when he just kissed me. Not that I have any attachment to him. I was guarding myself and being very careful to really get to know someone again. And I'm so glad that I did. Holy mackerel. Imagine if I had taken it to the next step before I found out that he was, still playing and dating other people. I think we get caught up in that moment, in that love bombing, in that first stage, and we don't really know what's going to happen. So I'm glad I went really slow, and I'm glad I was brave. I didn't go to that party, and I felt a whole lot better. Just saying, be brave, face your fears. Victim versus survivor. We are survivors.